The sequel trilogy is finally over. Episode 9 was released back in December to fairly mixed reviews. Some people loved it, and some people hated it. As an EU fan, I wasn't interested in watching it, but if you did, I hope it was an enjoyable experience for you. But now that it's been out for a while, what's going to come next for Star Wars? I imagine a lot of the new material in the next couple of months is going to focus on the aftermath from the events of The Rise of Skywalker, much of which I'm sure will be dedicated to addressing any questions left over by the movie or smoothing over those annoying little plot holes. Maybe they'll do an epilogue of the characters to show where they are now. If that stuff sounds interesting to you, then you'll have that to look forward to. But other than that, I don't know if Lucasfilm has a set plan going forward with Star Wars in the near future. Apparently we're not getting any more Star Wars movies until 2022 or something like that. So what's going to keep Star Wars going for the next 3 years? The same thing that kept Star Wars going in the Lucas era when there wasn't any movies coming out. The books and comics. I think now, possibly more than any other time in the past 6 years of the Disney canon, is the perfect time to announce new Star Wars Legends books and comics. Think about it. The big reason Disney bought Star Wars, and the reason that they discontinued the expanded universe, was for the sequel trilogy. And now that it's finally completed, Lucasfilm can move on to bigger and better things. Ryan Kennel from Outpost made a great video on this topic, and I highly recommend you go check it out. I'll put a link to it in the description. And I'll be saying very similar things here. We should get the EU back with more content. The new canon should get stuff as well, but it's been having content added to it this whole time, so anything released in that continuity will mostly just be business as usual. But you want to make something new? You want to shock and awe? Announce a continuation of Legends. The excuse that, well, Lucasfilm can't continue the EU because they need to focus on building the new canon. They have to create material to go with the new movies. No longer applies. And if that really was the reason we weren't getting new Legends stories, then it sounds like now is finally the time to bring back Legends. Again, there is going to be more new canon books, comics, TV shows, and games, as there should be. But there are so many reasons to continue Legends. With no upcoming movies, Star Wars fans will turn to the books and comics like they did back in the day. And some will pick up books with the Legends banner. The sequel trilogy, for some, turned out to be a huge disappointment. Maybe they're not interested in the new characters and want more stories about Luke, Han, and Leia. That's not possible in the new canon anymore because all those characters are dead. But where we left them in the expanded universe, they're still very much alive. Or even the fans who were satisfied with how it ended could be curious to check out what the expanded universe is about. And fans of both canon and Legends, I'm sure they won't object to seeing new Legend stories. For many of them, new Star Wars is new Star Wars, and I can certainly respect that. As far as I'm concerned, Star Wars 108 coming out last May was a symbolic opening of the floodgates. If there was any doubt that a Legend story couldn't come out due to it being non-canon or whatever, it was squashed when 108 was announced. And that was randomly in the middle of summer last year. Now that episode 9 is wrapped up, a new Legends comic, book, or even a series of books coming out seems a lot more plausible now than it did back in 2015 to 2018. Also, what we learned recently in Matt Wilkins' interview with Matthew Rosenberg, the writer of Star Wars issue 108, link in the description, it was actually Marvel that was interested in making a continuation of Legends, and asked him to write it. I think people in Marvel, Del Rey, and Lucasfilm are probably very interested in continuing Legends, because they're such big fans of it. And until now, maybe new Legend stories wouldn't fit on the docket. Which makes sense. If you're going to build up this new canon, you have to put a lot of focus into it. Hopefully now, at the start of this brand new decade, some more attention can be given to Legends, by the people in these companies who want to make them, and for the fans, the people who really want to read them.